In this lesson, we are going to be evaluating trig functions, finding some exact values again. They're just going to be a little bit more challenging. You're not going to see just an individual one, you're going to see an algebraic-ish kind of a problem. So you're going to be evaluating multiple pieces at the same time, and we're going to be doing angles that I can't draw triangles out of. So how do I deal with that? So here is all the information that I need to do every single one of these types of problems that are non-calculator problems, that are exact value types of problems, and it really replaces the unit circle. Everything that I will get out of a unit circle is all right here. So anything that has a 30 degree, 60 degree, 45 degree reference angle, I have this, and then the quadrants, because positives and negatives are all going to be within this A-Smart Trig class. And then anything that lands on an axis, I just have to remember that sine is a y value, cosine is an x value, tangent is a y divided by x. So if it landed here, whether it's 90 degrees or if it wrapped around a whole bunch of times and still ended up here, and we were doing sine of whatever that is, sine of 90, all I'm going to do is be taking the y value out of that coordinate. So sine of 90 would be 1. That's it. Every single thing that I could possibly need out of a unit circle is all right here. So I can do all of these. And we're going to do two of these types of problems that are kind of a little bit kind of a notch up from some of the others. So we need to do tangent of 120 degrees, and then we're going to square that value. We're going to do tangent of 150 degrees, square that value, and we're going to do cosine of 180 and square that value. So I don't know the reference angles off the top of my head, so I'm going to draw out my 120, figure out a reference angle, refer to the appropriate triangle, and have my value. So 120 degrees is going to be, so if that's 120, that is 60 degrees shy, so I'm really doing tangent of 60. Alright, so tangent of 60 is over here, root 3 over 1. And so tangent of 60 is equivalent to tangent of 120, except we're in the second quadrant, so it's going to be negative. So it's going to be root 3 over 1, so just root 3, but it is a negative. So that is tangent squared. Pull the 2 down, and then let's figure out what that one is. The 150 is going to be 30 degrees shy. So I'm really looking at tangent of 30. So it's still in the second quadrant, so it's still going to be negative. Tangent of 30 is going to be 1 over root 3. And I could rationalize it, but I'm going to be squaring that value. So the fact that I'm going to square this fraction is going to rationalize it for me. And then minus cosine of 180. I'm going to refer to this. So 180 is this coordinate right here, and cosine is an x value, so I'm just taking the negative 1. And we're going to square it. Alright, so there's the trig part. The rest of this is just kind of an algebra part. So we're going to square a negative root 3. That's just going to get us a positive 3. Multiply it by 2. And then we're going to square this fraction. So we're going to square the negative. It goes away, becomes positive. We'll square the 1 and get a 1. We'll square the 3 and get a root 3 and get a 3. And then minus negative 1 squared is 1. So it worked out fantastic that that simplifies with that. And we get a 6 plus 1 minus 1, which is 6. Okay, and then we're going to do one more, very, very similar. We're going to keep on referring to this information here. So we're looking at this problem. So it's going to have an extremely similar feel to it. All right. I need this because I need this information. So sine of 225. 225 is down here at a 45 degree reference angle. So we're doing sine of 45 in the third quadrant, so it'll be negative. So sine of 45 is 1 over root 2. It's going to be a negative because it is in the third quadrant, and we're going to square it, so I'm not going to worry about rationalizing it. It'll take care of itself. And then minus cosine of 270. Cosine of 270 ends up right here. So it's not a triangle, it ends up being a point. So cosine is an x value, 270, the x value of 270 is 0. And then we square it, which will still be 0, plus tangent of 60. So tangent of 60 is in the first quadrant. So then it's just tangent of 60. So tangent of 60 is opposite over adjacent, which is just root 3. And it is not negative because it's in the first quadrant. All right, so this stuff's done. Now we're just going to finish the algebra. So if we square this, we're going to square the negative, it becomes positive. Square the 1, it's still a 1. Square the square root of 2, cancels the square root, so you have a half. Minus 0 plus 3. So 0 is pretty much done, so it's a 3, and a positive 1/2 is 3 1/2. And that was evaluating trig functions, find some exact values, just a different approach, different look to it, but it also took care of some of our special cases when you can't draw a triangle, lands on an axis. This is how you deal with it. All right, thanks.